Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. We were looking at the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and we already saw that Bhagavan started this chapter by giving the Vamsha Kathanam as a praise of this knowledge, because this knowledge is nothing new. It has been coming in a parampara from the time of the creation itself, because Bhagavan himself says, I taught it to Vivaswan. And Vivaswan taught it to Manu, Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. Like that, there is a parampara of Raja Rishis. But he himself says that it became lost, or it declined over a period of time, over a period of long time. Then Arjuna asked the question that how are you the one who taught it to Vivaswan, because you were only born now to Devaki. Then Bhagavan gives out the Avataravada. So Bhagavan says that so many janmas have gone by in which you were already born, and I know about all of them, but you do not know. And I, even though I am unborn, correct? Ajaha api san, being unborn, and avyayatma, he says, means also being the one whose knowledge never goes away. That I am the Paramatma, that knowledge, the Atma Jnanam, Bhagavan never loses. It is always there. That Jnanam is Avyayaha. So, being all these things, and also being the Bhutanam Ishvaraha, being the Lord of all the beings, that means he is above all laws. All the laws are only for the Jivas. Bhagavan is not subjected to any laws. So, being all these things only, still he appears as though he is a human being, as a person. That is also only Atma Mayaya, he says. That is more like a magical appearance only. Even though he seems to appear as one of the beings in the Srishti, but really it is only an appearance. It's not, Bhagavan's body is not a real physical body like ours, which is born out of certain karma. That is the main point we have to understand. That's why later on Acharyas have analyzed this and arrived at a conclusion that the Mr. Krishna appearance is only pratibhasika, like that they have arrived at, because it cannot be counted as vyavaharikam also, in the sense that in vyavahara, everything is as per the karma only. And Bhagavan is not subjected to any papa punya or karma. So Bhagavan's appearance is purely, in one way we can say that it is based on the prayers of the jiva only. Because later on he says, why does he even appear? Because to uphold dharma. So whenever adharma becomes too much, and people, dharmic people themselves could not handle it, what do dharmika people do then? They only pray to Bhagavan, correct? In fact, even in the Puranas, if you see, before every avatara, the rishis go and pray to either Vishnu or even Shiva and all that, correct? Saying that all these Rakshasas or Asuras are all troubling us too much, and they have become too powerful and we are not able to handle them. You only have to come and handle. So some kind of a prayer like that is always there, which we are aware of even from the Puranas. So we can say that Bhagavan is taking this magical form or Maya Shariram only based on the prayers of the Bhaktas who want Dharma to be re-established. So for that purpose only Bhagavan takes this Sharira, and then comes and he says Paritranaya Sadhu Nam and all that, correct? To protect the sadhus, the good people, and those who are dushkritam, those who do adharma, they to destroy them and then re-establish the dharma. For this purpose alone, I take this birth. even though I am unborn and all that, correct? That you have to always keep that in mind. And he is born, but he doesn't have any ajnanam. He doesn't take himself as an individual like other jivas. Now, then the next verse is the most important thing. That's what we saw in the last class, correct? Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. So, I am born, even though I am unborn, I appear as though I am born. And then anybody else also who knows the same thing about themselves, correct? Even for the jiva also it appears actually. Sorry, it applies actually that every jiva also is really not born. Whatever is born is really only the body. The body, mind, sense complex is born and it will go away. Your identification with that only is the problem. So if you are able to look at yourself in the same way as Bhagavan is able to understand oneself, then you also have the same knowledge, or you understand that your nature is not any different from Bhagavan's nature. Our nature also is that of a conscious being, and that conscious being is the limitless conscious being actually. It is no different from what Bhagavan also says his Atma is. And it is the same thing, it's identical. If you know that, then you are also a Mukta Purusha only. You are not bound by any karma. There is no karma for anybody really speaking. Okay, so once you have this knowledge that I am not even a karta, then where is the question of any karma? All karma is gone, just like that. So that is the jnanam which he talks about. And for such people, he says, Tektva deham punarjanma. Na, there is no punarjanma for them after this body falls off. And where do they go? Mameti, he says. They all attain me only. Means those who are muktas, they attain Bhagavan's nature only. They are not separate from Bhagavan, in fact. Jnani to atmaiva me matam. Like that in the 7th chapter, Bhagavan will say later on. Jnani is no different from me, he says. Jnani to atmaiva, he says. Jnani, even though he classifies Jnani as a bhakta, but the Jnani bhakta is no different from Bhagavan. Bhagavan's self and Jnani's self are not different from each other. So he says Jnani to atmaiva me matam. Like that, that will come. So this, up to this we saw. Then the next verse now, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodhaha Manmayama Mupashritaha Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Bhuta Madbhava Magataha. So now what is the nature of these people, or what did they do to know me like this and also attain mukti? Means he says these people are all Vita Raga Bhaya Krodhaha. So for whom there is no raga, means attachment or craving or longing, correct? Raga is that only. And then Vita Raga Bhaya, there is no fear and there is no anger. Those who do not have any longing, craving or attachment, those who do not have any fear, those who do not have any anger. So how do one become like that? Means, see, in fact, Bhagavan itself has given it in the right sequence. First is you have to start with your Raga Dvesha. Raga Dvesha is the fundamental impurity or problem for a human being. And if they are in mastery over you, that means you are under the spell of your Raga Dveshas, you can never avoid fear and anger, correct? Why? Because Raga only becomes fear. Why? Because if you like something so much, and if you are making some effort to achieve that, there is always a fear of failure, correct? Because we are not, we are only Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman. Whoever you may be in the creation, you are still an individual with limited powers. With whatever effort, you can never 100% guarantee you will get the results, whatever you expect or you want. So there is always a fear of failure, even while you are making some effort. So that is there. And even after you attain it, you are always afraid that somebody else will take it away and all that. Because to maintain it also is a problem. You have achieved something, you have a lot of wealth, but what if somebody comes and burns it or they loot it and all that? There is a fear, then you have to secure it also. that is also there is a fear even while having something which you have attained. And then once it is lost also, then there is some shoka and all that is involved. Or even while having it, you may have a fear of losing it. There is a fear there also. So you cannot avoid fear as long as this raga dvesha is ruling you. That's why I told you, Bhagavan is called as Vendadal Vendame Ilan in Tamil, the one who does not have any wants, correct? He does not have any likes or dislikes. That has to be there because Bhagavan cannot be having likes and dislikes, means he will also have fear. So that is a very important thing. And how do we manage our raga dvesha means do karma with yoga buddhi. There is no other way. That Shankaracharya beautifully has given us the path, correct? Step by step he is saying, whatever study the Veda, whatever is said in the Veda, all that karma, all the vihita karma you do, all the kamya karma you avoid. Prayasita karma also you can do. Then also you have to see the dosha with reference to the Vishaya Sukha and the Bhoga, the worldly whatever pursuits are there, the defects in them also you should be able to understand and see that and assimilate it. So all these things are very important, and also do whatever you are doing as the worship of Bhagavan. The whatever duties you are doing on a day-to-day basis itself is a great archana to Bhagavan. So swakarmana tamabhyarcha siddhim vindati manavaha. That is the greatest thing. Bhagavan says that same thing Shankaracharya also says. So that is the path which has been laid out for us very clearly in the Shastra, and that is the only path which can lead you to happiness, because happiness is really only bhuma eva sukham, correct? Yo bhuma tat sukham. That's how Upanishad is putting it. Only the limitless alone can be sukha. Anything limited can never be really sukha. It is always dukkha mishritvam is there in that. So these things we have to be clear. If you are clear about all these things, then you can come out of the spell of the raga. And if you are not under the spell of your raga dveshas, obviously your fear also is going to reduce. Relatively, you will become a fearless person because you don't have anything to lose, correct? Only when there is a fear of failure or fear of loss and all that, there is a certain fear in you. Otherwise, your fear goes down. In fact, even then there may be some irrational fears in people because there are some phobias and things like that. If people have such things, those have to be separately processed. Okay. But anyway, in a general manner, the less raga dvesha you have, the less fearful you are going to be. And even otherwise, even some people may have fear of future and all that, but even that you have to give it to Bhagavan. You have to leave everything to Bhagavan and be ready to accept anything as the prasada of Bhagavan. With such an attitude, you can never have any fear. Relatively, you are free from fear. Similarly, anger also. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodhaha, he says. Krodha also, how can you not have anger? Because many people give advice to others always that don't get angry. Okay? But the thing is, suppose I say get angry for the next 30 seconds. Get angry, no? For the next 30 seconds, be angry. How many of you were angry? No. Raise your hands. None of you became angry. Come on, no. Try to become angry. So from this, what do we know? Anger is not a willful action, correct? It's not something born out of your will or anything. Willfully, you cannot become angry. So that means that advice is the most useless advice. Because anger is not asking your permission or anything, or it's not based on your will. If it is based on if it is a willful action, then you can tell somebody, don't get angry. In fact, if you tell that, they'll get more angry. Right? They'll say, who are you to tell me? Who are you to advise me? Huh? Do you know what I am going through? So there is no point in advising anybody that don't get angry, because anger itself is only a symptom of some other deeper pain or some emotional disturbance has happened. Many times you don't even know what it is. Okay, because it may be something which happened in your childhood, and later on it gets triggered always by somebody's behavior or whatever, something you see. And in fact, many times you yourself know that it is irrational, because the amount of reaction you had due to anger is not proportional to really what happened currently. Currently, something happened, okay, that triggered you. But the way you reacted is so much that it's not really proportional or warranted for the given situation. That you also know that. That's why most angry people, after some time, they are also guilty, because they feel that they have reacted wrongly and all that. But they are helpless also, because that is the point. Now, so to actually process this, you have to also think about why you are getting angry. What is it which is triggering you? Many times you may be knowing that also consciously, that some particular thing only triggers you. Then maybe you should write it down and see over a period of time which are all the things which are triggering you. And then you have to see whether you are able to process it, because you only have to process it so that it doesn't trigger you anymore. Why? Because this triggering is only a loss for you, correct? Anger is basically, as somebody said, it is you are punishing yourself for somebody else's behavior. Correct? Anger is nothing but you are giving the punishment, it is self-flagellation only, really speaking. So it is a punishment you are giving to yourself. So tannai taan kaakin sinam kaaka, like the Tiruvalluvar says. If you want to protect yourself, then protect yourself from your own anger, he says. So this is very important. So you have to first, otherwise what happens, see, many times people justify it also. You think that you are justified in getting angry, and only if you get angry, certain things get done and all that. But that's also not true. Understand that whatever you may get angry and all that, people know how to handle that. Over a period of time, they will handle your reaction, and they still keep doing whatever they are doing. It doesn't matter really. Or if required, you can show some anger and all that. That's what I am saying. Showing anger is different from actually being overpowered by by anger and reacting in a particular manner and all that. So as long as you are acting, it is okay. It should not be a reaction. So again, the anger also, if you see, is having a basis on raga dvesha only. Because if your raga, the desire is not fulfilled, it becomes a pain, correct? That pain only expresses later on as anger. So raga dvesha only is the basis for anger. Or if your raga dvesha is getting, you do not fulfill, but somebody else has it now. Now that also can become a pain again. And you get angry with that other person. Jealousy also is some form of anger only, correct? You can do many things out of jealousy, which are unnecessary. So that is why the first thing is you have to manage your raga dvesha. You start from there. You have to first become Vita Raga. Then Vita Bhayaha, Vita Krodaha is easy. It will follow actually. So that's why Bhagavan here he says Vita Raga Bhaya Krodaha, means those who are karma yogis. Those who are yogis, they are relatively free from Raga, Dvesha, Krodha and Bhaya also. Such people who are mature, emotionally mature, who have a certain mental disposition, and further what manmaya means, they are only pursuing me, means they are mumukshus, because Bhagavan is the limitless. They are only pursuing Bhagavan. Here manmaya means not Mr. Krishna, understand that. Here Krishna is identifying himself only as Paramatma. So those who are committed to pursue me, Paramatma, the limitless, those who are mumukshus, jijnasus, so they are only committed, and they are all the time only uh, thinking about me or doing something to know me. So tat chintanam, tat kathanam, anyonyam, tat prabodhanam, like this, there is a verse is there. That means you are all the time thinking about that, or you are talking about that, or even you are discussing with your other sahapatis about the same subject matter. So once the subject matter takes over you like that, that once you have so much interest, there is no way that you are not going to understand it or master it. So manmaya and then also mam upashritaha means those who have taken refuge in me. So you have to surrender to Bhagavan, surrender to the order that is Bhagavan in fact. Because relatively also to have a certain peace and fearlessness, you have to accept the world as it is, correct? Of course, many people want to change the world and all that, but in the end, world will change you always. Understand that. How much ever you want to change the world, my Guruji used to always say that because he he initially learnt Vedanta and understood everything, and then he was so gung ho that he has to now go and teach this to everybody, and then I have to change everybody. Then he says that after the I got some students, and in the first two course only I realized that they have changed me. I couldn't change any of them. They changed me instead. So that is what is the thing. So as of course you have to do whatever is to be done. Nobody is denying that. But after that, whatever is there has to be accepted as it is, because that's what Bhagavan is manifest as this world, correct? At the end of the day, you have to understand that whatever is there, good, bad, ugly, according to you, everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself is manifest as each and every being, each and every atom, each and every molecule, correct? Everything is Bhagavan only. It is all manifestation of Bhagavan. For us, Bhagavan is not separate sitting in some heaven or Vaikuntha or anything, Goloka Vrindavan. Right? Your own body is Bhagavan. Everything is Bhagavan. Whatever is there here is Bhagavan only. All the Panchabhutas are Bhagavan for us. So you have to accept it then. You cannot ask why this is that and why means Bhagavan is like that only. Correct? That's what you have to understand. It's all in order. Understand that. Everything is in order only. Even the disorder within the order also is within the order only. That is also a possibility. Everything is a possibility, and even your misusing of your free will or somebody misusing their free will also is within the Srishti only. Everything is manifestation of Bhagavan. At the end of the day, we have to accept it as it is. Denial only is the cause of all sorrow. If you are able to accept the Srishti as it is, as the order of Bhagavan, then you have surrendered, in fact. You have to surrender to the order. There is no other way. Otherwise, there will not be any peace, because you will always be like a ninja, correct? You are ready to fight. You are always ready to get into battle. And that's not going to help anybody. And at another level, this surrendering means what? So when you think about it, you have to surrender all your limitations. Understand that? Why are you holding on to all this body, mind, sense complex which are limited? Surrender it. This is all part of Ishvara's order. In fact, you have got nothing to do with that. You surrender all your limitations, then whatever is there is the limitless alone is there. Correct? You have to only own up to the limitless. Surrender all your limitations. That is the real surrender, in fact. Surrender your ego, because ego is a limited thing. I thought it comes and goes. It's not you really. It's not intrinsic to you also. Whatever is not intrinsic to you, all the limited things, just surrender it. No, it doesn't really belong to you, in fact. That's what you have to appreciate. Even if you say it is my body, you are only a trustee of this body at the best, you can say. You can't claim even your own body, because your mother has more claim on this body than yourself. Your body has come from your mother. Your mother only fed you. Then later on, so many other people have also fed you. So many other people have taught you everything. So in any way you look at yourself, you have no claim over your body or even your intellect or your mind and all those things, because everybody has contributed to who you are. So you don't have any special claim over your body mind sense complex. Then why are you holding on to it? Surrender that. surrender all your limitations.
And everything is perfect.
Correct.
It's in order.
Yes.
Then why God has to come without
that is all correct.
Adharma is also.
Adharma, when it is there, that is also in order. That when adharma is there, if you pray, Bhagavan will come. Okay, you have to take it as part of the script, part of the order. That is also. So prayer also is in the order only. Correct. Prayer is a possibility. It is the way to tap the grace of Bhagavan. So if you have any problem, you have to only go to Bhagavan. You pray to Bhagavan. Nothing wrong in that. Okay, Artha Bhakta, also Bhagavan says Artha also is a Bhakta. Whoever is in some distress, because we are Alpajnaha, Alpashaktiman, we have to always invoke something which is bigger than us, correct? Because if the problem is too big, the solution also, it's not at your level, means you have to seek it at a higher level only. There is no other way. No, that is also part of the order only. So you recognize the problem as it is and then try to take some action. That's not a problem. See, accepting the world as it is does not mean that you do not do anything. You are still playing your role, correct? Whatever is to be done, as part of the accepting the world, you have to accept your role in that also. If you have accepted a particular role, that role is coming with a certain script, that role has a certain duty, correct? Then do that. So there should not be any problem there. But while doing all that, finally what you understand is that you cannot claim anything as yours in this Srishti. This Bhagavad Srishti, they surrender everything to Bhagavan only finally. So along with that, you have to surrender your Kartrutvam, Bhoktritvam also. Everything you surrender means whatever is left is only the limitless conscious being, which is yourself. In fact, that alone you have to claim. That's the only thing you can claim as yourself. Everything else is really not you. And whatever is not you, why are you holding on to that? You have to surrender it. So that is the real Sharanagati. So you take refuge in the limitless, Bhagavan. So Mam Upashritaha, those who have taken refuge like that, for them what? And like that, how many people were there before? Means Bhagavan says Bahavaha. There were many people already like that. It's not that Arjuna, you will be the first one or anything like that. Many people have already done all these things and they have reached me, he says. Bahavaha Jnana Tapasa also, Puta. So many people who what kind of people? Highly purified people, he says. Putaha means those who are pure. Now purity means what again? Of course, relative purity means we say that Ragadvesha is impurity, and if you get freedom from that, you are becoming pure. But here when we say Jnana Tapasa Putaha, they are purified by the discipline of knowledge. Because Jnana Tapas means the discipline of knowledge or the fire of knowledge, you can say, because tapas can also have the meaning of heat or fire. So those who are pure, because later on Bhagavan says, Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitra miha vidyate. In the 4th chapter itself it will come. There is nothing more purifying than jnana. Now what is this jnana tapas and how does it purify you? Means this is the real purification in the sense that jnanam only tells you are already pure. Because any amount of impure thing, purifying it means again it will become impure. It can never be Nitya Shuddha. If you are really impure, how much ever you purify, it is like your every day we have a Panchapatra, right? It is copper. We clean it with tamarind and all that, it looks nice. Then you do all your karma. Next day you see again it goes. The color is gone. Once more you have to purify it. So daily you have to purify, it looks nice. But that is the relative purity. But what Bhagavan here says is Jnana Tapasa Putaha means you discover that you are never impure. You are already pure only. Because you are Nitya Shuddha, because you are not connected to any impurity like this Papa Punya, etc. Because Papa Punya are our impurity, Karma is the impurity. And you discover that I was never a Karta Bhokta. That means I am not even touched by anything. I am not touched by any guilt, any fear also, or I am not as Atma, neither I am a doer, correct? I am not a doer, means I cannot have any guilt. Nor I am an object of any action. That means I cannot be a victim or I cannot have any pain and all that. I cannot be victimized by anybody or I cannot be destroyed by anybody. So that way also, I am not going to be affected by any karma. Neither I am a karta, so that I can have guilt, nor I am a karma, means I am a object of any action. So even your papa punya cannot act on you really. I am always pure. This is the jnana tapasa puta means. This you can only understand with jnana. Jnanam only can give you this purity, which you already have in fact. That purity, those who are pure like that, what? Madbhavam agataha. They have achieved my nature. Here bhavam means that Ishvara's nature is not separate from your nature. That's what we are saying all the time, correct? And he says they have attained my nature, means in fact you have reclaimed. Agataha means they have come back in one way, correct? He didn't say gataha. Instead he's saying agataha. Means you have reclaimed it or you have come back to your to Bhagavan's nature, which is your nature also. Your nature is not any different from Bhagavan's nature, and you have come back to that, means you have no more any ignorance, because the only distance between you and your reality is ignorance. That distance is gone with knowledge, because ignorance is destroyed by knowledge. Knowledge is ajnana virodhi. So ajnana is gone. Ajnana is the cover, and knowledge comes and simply destroys that cover and uncovers your reality, your nature, which is no different from Bhagavan's nature. So he says, Madbhavam agataha, like that. So that is this verse. Now, Arjuna can ask, Bahavaha, you said. In Sanskritam, Bahavaha means plural, correct? It can be anywhere between 3 to any number, millions of number and all that. But still, Arjuna can ask, why you are not, in fact, even somebody asked me, I think yesterday, why Bhagavan does not take everybody or give moksha to everybody instantly? Why all this suffering and world, this creation and all? Okay, then what will Krishna say? That's what he is going to say in the next verse. So Krishna is saying, what will Krishna say? Krishna says, see, I am already one with everybody only. Nobody is away from me really. I am already one with everybody. And it is only a question of them claiming it. I have got nothing to do. I am already one with everybody. In whichever way they invoke me, I bless them in that manner only. They have to claim or invoke me in the right manner and they will be blessed. So that's what Krishna's answer is. So the next verse is that. What is that? Ye yatha mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvashaha. So all the manushyaha, okay, they are all coming to me only, he says. Okay. So whoever worships me in whichever way, ye means whoever, yatha means in whichever form, in whichever way they worship me. Ye yatha mam prapadyante means whoever worships me in whichever way, tam stataiva bhajamyaham. I bless them in the same way, in the same form. So this is why our tradition, our religious tradition also, we can accept every form of worship. We don't have any problem with any Bhagavan. All names are Bhagavan's name anyway. It doesn't matter in which name you call Bhagavan or in which form you invoke Bhagavan, correct? Bhagavan is everything. That's why only in India we can invoke Bhagavan even in a milestone, correct? Many times if you go to the rural areas, if there is a milestone, simply they will put one pattai, some chandanam kumum and convert it into a linga. Okay. And then they will raise some one small shrine they'll build. Or you see some kind of a palm on a tree, then again they'll put some manjal kungumam and all that, and it becomes a deity for us. Why? Because we can invoke Bhagavan anywhere. We have that freedom. Because all names and all forms are Bhagavan's names and forms for us. And we have the freedom, we have the Shastra itself sanctions that to us. That's why even those who are inimical to our tradition also, we can in one way accommodate them. They don't like us. The Abrahamic traditions think that we are kafirs, we are heathens, we are worshipping devil. All these are all their notions, correct? We don't have any notion like that, because for us, even if you have all this wrong thinking, to whichever Bhagavan you pray, that Bhagavan is Krishna only for us, or that's the same Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan is not fooled by anything. He is all knowing, and with the right bhava, if you are worshipping Bhagavan, all prayers we validate. Understand that. It's not that we tolerate. We can validate all prayers, because Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. So we have no problem. That's why we can keep any number of, even if some new Baba comes, we keep that photo also. Because everything is only, in whichever form you are able to invoke Bhagavan, that's okay. We don't have any problem with that. You don't come and tell me that I am devil or anything like that. Then I have a problem. Is that clear? We don't have to take any nonsense from others. But we don't go and demonize anybody or anything. We have no need for that, in fact, because we validate all forms of prayers. That's not an issue for us. But you don't come and step on my toes, then we have to react. In fact, we should not be passive then. I think we have to actually, we should not be afraid to get back or give it back also. That we have to do. There's no doubt about that. Otherwise, we cannot protect Dharma. Dharma is so beautiful, so great that it deserves to be protected, correct? We cannot passively let it erode or be destroyed. So to protect the Dharma, we have to protect the Dharmi. Without Dharmis, there is no Dharma also anyway. So that's why Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha is the saying, correct? Rakshitaha dharmaha only rakshati. The protected Dharma protects you. That means you have to protect Dharma, then Dharma will protect you, correct? Rakshitaha dharmaha rakshati. Means we have to protect Dharma. We have to do whatever it takes to protect Dharma. Dharma also will then protect us. So this is very important. Anyway, so Bhagavan says, you worship me in whichever form, I bless you in the same way. And in fact, he says, Mama Vartma Anuvartante. He makes it even very much clear that Manushyaha Partha Sarvashaha. In whichever way they do all this worship and all that, they are all only following me. They are all coming in my way only, correct? They follow my path in all ways. Whichever path they take, it is all only my path. There is no doubt about that. So, your question that why you are not blessing everybody, no, I bless everybody. Depends on how you invoke me. You have to invoke me in the right manner. I will bless you in the same way, because already I am one with you only. That is the point here. Then the next verse. Kankshantah karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram himanushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Okay, now there can be a question. Why everybody does not seek moksha or identity with Bhagavan? Correct? Why they are invoking you in other ways and all that means? For that also Bhagavan is answering. So karmanam siddhim kangshantaha means those who are expecting or those who are desirous of the karma phala, correct? That is karmanam siddhim, the results of action. They invoke many devatas, correct? Different devatas they are invoking. Yajanta iha devata. So here in this loka, those who are desirous of karma phala, because they have a wrong notion that only karma phala is their solution, correct? Is karma phala only is going to free me from some want or some limitation. So with that wrong notion. They are invoking different devatas. And also the other thing is karma phala in this loka is easy to get. Once you invoke the devatas, they will bless you. They will give you whatever you ask. So kanshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha kshipram hi manushe loke. In this manushya loka, kshipram means what? Quickly. You will get it immediately. Kshipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. So in this loka, whatever you ask for, correct? Whatever is born of action, karmaja, the results of action, that you will get quickly, immediately. Since you get it easily and immediately, you think that the solution also is that only. That is fast food culture, correct? We say nowadays, whether the food is good or not, you don't know, but at least fast food means you immediately get 2 minutes mein Maggi ho gaya. You don't want to cook for 20 minutes something which is healthy. But in 2 minutes, if you get Maggi, you are happy. Same thing Bhagavan is saying here. Shipram, you get results immediately. So they are all only asking for that with different devatas. Like that. That's why people are after karma phala, but they are not after me. But if they ask for me, I will give them. In fact, they will attain me. So for that, they only have to seek me. But instead, they are only seeking karma phala. They will get that then. And they get it easily also. And then they are in a, they keep on going in a cycle. That is the samsara. Okay. So then the most interesting or the controversial verse comes now, correct? Chatur varnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam. So, yeah, this verse, so this is the verse which is, you can say, controversial or people interpret it in so many ways, correct? So he says, now I am the one who created the 4 varnas, 4 groups of people. Chatur varnyam maya srishtam, he says. I only created all these varnas, these groups of people, these divisions. And based on what, how did he divide the people into 4 varnas? Guna karma vibhagashaha, he says. Based on guna means duties, qualities. And karma is their duties, whatever they are supposed to do. Duties and responsibilities are only karma. So based on the qualities and on the responsibilities, it has to also have a matching, correct? It has to align. One's qualities should align with whatever duties and responsibilities one holds, or one's qualifications have to align with the duties and responsibilities you can have. That applies even in an organization, correct? Any organization also, you have job description and all that. And then you see who is qualified to do those, whatever is listed in the job description. So Bhagavan also is saying like that only. I have divided the people into 4 groups based on their qualifications or qualities and whatever roles and responsibilities they have to play. Chaturvanyam maya srittam guna karma vibhagashaha tasya kartaram abhimam. Here only again he is talking about the paramarthika reality. From the standpoint of the world, he is saying, I have only created the 4 varnas or 4 groups of people and all that. But even though I have created them, correct? Tasya kartaram api vidhi akartaram avyayam. Still you should know me. My nature is that I am akarta. I did not create anything. And I am unchanging also. Just because I created means because whenever you do something, there is a change involved, correct? You have to at least move your hand to do something with your hand. Or even to speak, you have to move your mouth. That means you change. In any action, some change is also involved. But Bhagavan here says that I never did anything, I did not change at all. Avyayaha, there is no change in me. Don't think that I have changed in some manner because I have created all these things. Means Sannidhi Matrena, everything is happening. That's what we say. Bhagavan's presence alone, it is like magnet is present. Means all the magnetically aligned particles and all, they act in a certain manner just in the presence of the magnet, correct? Magnet did not do anything. Similarly, sun rises. So many things are happening, correct? Sun cannot claim any kartrutvam for all that. Because we say that when the sun rises, lotus blooms. Sunflower is turning towards the sun. Or water evaporates and then it becomes cloud and rains are coming. All these are, sun only has done all that. But you go to the sun and ask, he says, no, I didn't do anything, boss. I am just shining, that's all. In my presence, everything is happening. I did not do anything. So you can look at it in both ways. So in one way you say that Bhagavan says, I created all these things. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam. But then in reality what? Vidya akartaram avyayam. I am just a conscious being and I did not do anything. It's all happening only in my presence. So that's what he is saying. Of course, here, whether this Chaturvarnyam is due to birth only or it is something which we only due to nurturing or whatever, correct? Is genetic or nurtured, that is a big debate, okay? If you go to any Shankaracharya today, they will say that it is only due to birth. They have no doubt. Why they are saying that also there is a logic for that. Because if there is a choice for you to choose your roles and duties and all that, then you can keep on changing that, correct? How will you even decide what is your swakarma? To decide your swakarma, the most of the traditional Shastrakaras, they have interpreted this Chaturvarnyam as only out of birth only. There is no doubt about that. But if you take our Pujya Swamiji himself, he will say that, but that birth-based system is gone now, correct? Or at least it's no more, it's not there anymore. But still we have to, the spirit of that we have to still understand, correct? Because what kind of role you have taken in the society. Because Chaturvarnya means then Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra means whoever is taking up any intellectual activity or working in a university or you are a professor or you are doing research, academic research and all that, they are all only Brahmanas. They are doing Brahmana karma, means they require support also, correct? The Brahmanas cannot be actively engaged in also creating wealth. Because their whatever is their roles and duties, even to do that only one whole day is not enough. One whole lifetime is not enough. So they require support from others definitely. Even today, if you see, that's why all universities are supported by grants only, correct? Either private people, foundations are giving some grant for research or government is funding them. That was the same system we had, correct? Because every guru ran a gurukulam and they were doing it as a duty. Understand that? Means any student can go and enroll. They will not ask for any fee. You first bring fee, then only I will teach you. That was not our system. Understand that? We had a great system where everybody was doing only their duties. And Brahmanas were teaching because it is their duty. They did not expect any upfront, some Guru Dakshina, or you have to give this or give that. You come to me, if you are qualified to learn, I will teach you. After that, it is you have to give Dakshina, but giving Dakshina is the duty of the other person, correct? They also will do their duty. Then the Gurukulam will run. And even the rule was, even if the student is poor and if he is not able to give the Dakshina or whatever, because every student also wants to give to the Guru. It's not that the student does not want to give anything to the Guru and they want to give good Dakshina, but somehow let us say they don't have the means for that. Then what will they do? Means for that also there was a way. Student has to go to the king, whoever was the local king, and then display that they have learned all these things. Whatever they were taught in the Gurukulam, they have to prove to the whoever is in the court, correct? Court also, the king will also have all the panditas. So they have to give an examination or something like that. They have to go and prove in the court that they have gained all this knowledge. And then they can ask the king to give the Dakshina to the Guru. stories like this are there. Understand that if you read Raghuvansham, correct? In Raghuvansham, it is there, that story. And the kings, in fact, were they will also do that. They are, in fact, in that Raghuvansham story, the interesting thing is, when the student goes like that, the king is doing one yajna called Vishwajit Yajna. When you do the Vishwajit Yajna, you are supposed to give away all your wealth. Okay. So the king has emptied out his treasury itself. He has nothing. He has given everything as dana. At that time, the student goes and says that no, you have to give so much dakshina to my guru. Then he says, okay, I will give you. You wait for one day or something like that. Then overnight he thinks that only Kubera has enough wealth, so he goes to fight with Kubera. Like that, there is a story in Raghuvamsha. You can go and refer to that. So what I am saying is, the whoever is doing the Brahmana karma, they should have a certain outlook about life, correct? And they have to do it as their duty. Gaining knowledge and propagating that knowledge is their duty, primary duty. Similarly, Kshatriya means they have a duty to protect everybody else, correct? They should gain all the skills to protect the entire society from internal or external aggression and all that, and administer the entire thing so that there is peace. Law and order has to be maintained by somebody, and that is their duty. And if they do that as their duty, then everybody is protected. Everybody can peacefully do the things. In fact, all the beautiful temples and so many wonders we see in our country cannot have been there without law and order, correct? Without peace in the society, without everybody feeling secure, do you think anybody could have built this Kailasha temple in Ellora or Madurai Meenakshi Amman temple or any temple? I am saying, you go to all the big temples and beautiful art, each one would have spent their entire life in doing that, because in those days they did everything with only chisel and hammer and all that, correct? They would have spent their entire life, and somebody must have fed them during that. Means again somebody has to create wealth, they have to produce grains, means people have to be there also for that. So those who are duty is producing wealth means we say Vaishya. And all others who work for these three people, they are all Shudra, means there is nothing. See, as it is, there is no gradation or anything. Whoever has this tendency to do all these things, they were doing these things. Bhagavan is saying that also, I have created them like that. Means then you take that as your Swakarma and you do that itself, then you will get Siddhi, he says. From the standpoint of moksha and all that, there is no difference. Everybody can get moksha by doing their own duty. So that is the thing. But nowadays, most of us, in fact, given an option, everybody becomes a Shudra, I think. Because that is the easiest vritti. Because you don't have any risk, correct? You just work for somebody else. You want to take care of your Arthakama. Every month you get some salary. So given a option in the last 100 years, every Brahmana has become a Shudra only, because they are all only doing office work. They are not, in fact, I wanted to start a Veda Patashala. I arrange for the teacher, I arrange for the house, I arrange for cook, everything I arrange. I could not get 2 students. Nobody is ready to send their kids to study the Veda. But how did the Veda get protected all these years? Because all Brahmanas were mandated that they have to send their children for Veda Dhyanam, correct? Swashaka means you have to study Swashaka, then only everything else is afterwards. Whatever else you study, any other Shastra are all later on. First you put Upanayanam at the age of 8, go study your own Veda. Like that they mandated it, that's how it got protected. Otherwise, given an option, this Brahmanas would have already done whatever is being done today, correct? It is easy to take, just work for somebody and have a life. That is a easier life, I am saying. So they mandated it, and that's how the whole thing got protected. So maybe we have to inspire people to take up whatever is their Swakarma again.
So
But anyway.
Swami Vivekananda has mentioned that this is the land we have and we want to have. This is the natural system of Chaturvarna. Then he says that if you see the past history, many people were raised and they were evolved into Brahmana. And
That is
that
Guna
the
Brahmana. We'll come to that. So you should not confuse between Karma Brahmana and Guna Brahmana. So the karma, whatever karma you do, from that everybody has to become Guna Brahmana. Okay? By doing your karma only you can become a Guna Brahmana. That you Siddhim Nindati when Bhagavan says, you rise above your own Raga Dvesha by doing your own karma only, but not by doing somebody else's karma. That Bhagavan very clearly says in the Gita that doing somebody else's karma, even if you do your own karma badly, you should do that only, he says. Don't go and do anybody else's karma. That is not your role, correct? Something like that. It's clearly said in the 3rd chapter. But the whole point here is how do you determine your swakarma?
That it depends on your natural tendencies.
Correct. So that natural tendency is due to birth or not? Those are all the questions which are being raised. So you may think that it is not due to birth, but most traditional people think that it is by birth. Okay, but whether the genetics play any role in that or not is itself is questionable. That we have to look into that separately. Okay, but I think you get the point here. So Bhagavan says he created all the 4 varnas, but for us as Vedanta student, the important thing is he is still Akarta and Avyaya. That's what we have to understand. The rest of the verses we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.